And where the action is, here are the Seeds.
See the farmer on the other side of town.
Before streaming and digital playlists, these bands ruled the airwaves. Join us as we rediscover the 20 best gone groups of the 1960s that time forgot. Let's begin. 1. The Shadows of Night. Ever wondered why the Shadows of Night's Gloria sounds familiar? It was actually a cover of Van Morrison's song, but their version became even more popular in the US, turning them into overnight stars. The Shadows of Night, originating from Chicago's suburbs in 1964, brought a distinct Midwestern flavor to the British blues invasion. Their rendition of Van Morrison's Gloria in 1966 became a massive hit, peaking at number 10 on the Billboard charts. The band's lineup featured Jim Soanes, vocals, Warren Rogers, lead guitar, Norm Gotch, rhythm guitar, Wayne Purcell, bass, and Tom Schiffer, drums. Their raw, energetic style and rebellious image resonated with American teens, bridging the gap between British blues and American garage rock. Despite their early success, internal conflicts and changing musical landscapes led to lineup changes and a decline in popularity. The Shadows of Night disbanded in 1967 but left an indelible mark on the rock scene. 2. Love.
What just got out my little red book the minute that you said goodbye.
Did you know about the band that defined LA's psychedelic scene but never gained widespread fame? Love, led by Arthur Lee, was a trailblazer in blending folk rock, psychedelia, and orchestral arrangements. Their 1967 album Forever Changes is now considered one of the greatest albums of all time. Songs like Alone Again or showcase their innovative sound, combining heartfelt lyrics with intricate instrumentation. Despite critical acclaim, Love struggled commercially due to limited touring and Lee's reclusive tendencies. Their influence has grown exponentially over the years, with Forever Changes gaining a cult following and inspiring countless artists, from The Doors to Radiohead. Love's music remains timeless and hauntingly beautiful. 3. The Standells. Ever wondered about the band that gave us the quintessential garage rock anthem Dirty Water? The Standells, formed in Los Angeles in 1962, are best known for this gritty track that became an unofficial anthem for Boston, despite the band hailing from California. The lineup included Larry Tamblyn, vocals and keyboard, Tony Valentino, guitar, Gary Lane, bass, and Dick Dodd, drums and lead vocals. Dirty Water, released in 1965, reached number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100 and showcased the band's raw sound and rebellious spirit. The Standells' influence is evident in the punk rock movement that followed, with their straightforward, unpolished style resonating with future generations. Despite their impact, the band didn't achieve sustained commercial success and disbanded in 1968. 4. The Strawberry Alarm Clock. Have you heard of the band that brought psychedelia to the pop charts? The Strawberry Alarm Clock, formed in 1967 in Los Angeles, blended psychedelic rock with catchy melodies, exemplified by their iconic hit, Incense and Peppermints. The song, released in 1967, topped the Billboard Hot 100 and became a defining track of the Summer of Love. Their trippy lyrics and innovative use of harmonized vocals captured the essence of 1960s counterculture. Here's a cool one. The Strawberry Alarm Clock got their name by randomly combining words from a cereal box. They thought it perfectly captured their surreal psychedelic vibe. 5. The Easy Beats. Curious about the band that gave us one of the most enduring rock anthems of the 1960s? The Easy Beats, hailing from Sydney, Australia, took the world by storm with their 1966 smash hit, Friday on My Mind. Formed in 1964, the band included lead singer Stevie Wright and songwriting duo George Young and Harry Vanda. who crafted catchy, upbeat tracks with a distinct rock edge. Friday on My Mind became a global sensation, charting in multiple countries and solidifying the group's international reputation. Though they struggled to replicate the success of their iconic hit, the Easy Beats left a lasting legacy. George Young later went on to mentor AC/DC, shaping the hard rock sound of the 1970s. The Easy Beats remain a cornerstone of Australian music history. 6. The Knickerbockers. Can you name the American band whose hit song was so reminiscent of the Beatles that many listeners believed it was a new Fab Four track? The Knickerbockers, formed in 1962 in Bergenfield, New Jersey, achieved this with their 1965 single, Lies. The song's catchy melody and tight harmonies led to widespread comparisons to the Beatles, earning them significant attention. The band consisted of brothers Bo and John Charles, Buddy Randell, and Jimmy Walker. Their ability to emulate the British invasion sound set them apart from other American bands of the time. Lies reached number 20 on the US charts, marking the peak of their commercial success. Despite the success of Lies, the Knickerbockers struggled to produce another hit of the same caliber. Subsequent singles failed to chart as high, and internal changes, including members leaving and joining, disrupted their momentum. By the late 1960s, the band had disbanded, with members pursuing different musical directions. 7. Paul Revere and the Raiders. Did you know that Paul Revere and the Raiders got their name because the founder's real name was Paul Revere Dick? He leaned into the historical pun, adding costumes and theatrics to their performances for a unique flair. Paul Revere and the Raiders brought a unique mix of theatricality and garage rock energy to the 1960s music scene. Formed in Boise, Idaho in 1958, the band hit its stride in the mid-1960s with hits like Kicks, Hungry, and Just Like Me. Their music combined infectious melodies with socially conscious lyrics, especially in songs like Kicks, which was one of the first rock songs to address drug abuse. Led by Paul Revere on keyboards and Mark Lindsay on vocals, their high-energy performances and coordinated costumes made them a favorite on TV shows like Where the Action Is and American Bandstand. They successfully balanced commercial success with musical innovation, influencing countless garage and rock acts.
Tired of expensive, low-effort script writers for your YouTube channel? Autoscripter.ai is the ultimate solution. Say goodbye to low-quality, poorly retention amateur scripts that fail to generate thousands of views for your channel. At a fraction of the cost, Autoscripter.ai helps your videos go viral. In just 3 steps, Autoscripter.ai creates a polished script tailored to your needs. Just input your title concept, select your tone and style. The intuitive interface makes editing and refining effortless, fast, smart, and trusted by hundreds of satisfied users who have already discovered the amazing tool. Start your free trial today and watch Autoscripter.ai transform your YouTube channel. Just click the link in the video description below now.
8. The Cryin' Shames.
But to stay in their arms, would you want?
Curious about the Chicago band that combined intricate harmonies with garage rock energy? The Cryin' Shames, formed in 1966 in Hinsdale, Illinois, made a significant impact on the local music scene with their melodic sound and tight performances.
You before I even knew your name, and I wanted.
The original lineup included Tom Duty, vocals, Jerry Stone, guitar, Dave Purple, bass, keyboards, Denny Conroy, drums, Jim Fares, lead guitar, Jim Pilster, tambourine, and Bill Hughes, bass. Their debut single, a cover of the Searchers' Sugar and Spice, became a regional hit, reaching number 49 on the Billboard Hot 100. The Cryin' Shames were known for their lush harmonies and a sound that blended folk rock with pop sensibilities, drawing comparisons to bands like the Byrds. Their second album, A Scratch in the Sky, showcased their musical growth and experimentation with psychedelic elements. Despite their regional success, the band struggled to achieve national prominence. Lineup changes in the evolving music landscape led to their disbandment in 1969. 9. The Gants. Ever heard of the Mississippi band that brought British invasion vibes to the American South? The Gants, hailing from Greenwood, Mississippi, formed in 1963 and quickly became known for their unique blend of garage rock infused with British pop influences. Originally called the Kingsmen, they changed their name to the Gants to avoid confusion with another band. The lineup featured Sid Herring, lead vocals, guitar, Johnny Sanders, lead guitar, Vince Montgomery, bass, and Don Wood, drums. Their 1965 cover of Bo Diddley's Roadrunner gained regional success and showcased their energetic style. The Gants stood out for their harmonious vocals and ability to emulate the British sound, particularly the Beatles. Despite their talent, the Gants faced challenges breaking into the national scene. Their location in the Deep South limited exposure, and they struggled to secure widespread airplay. After releasing several singles and albums with modest success, the band disbanded in 1967. In later years, the Gants experienced a resurgence in popularity, especially among garage rock enthusiasts. Their music has been featured in compilations, and they reunited for performances, including a well-received set at the 1998 Cave Stomp Festival in Detroit, Michigan. 10. Syndicate of Sound.
Hey, little girl, you don't have to hide nothing no more.
Curious about the band whose garage rock anthem became a 1960s classic? Syndicate of Sound, formed in 1964 in San Jose, California, made a significant impact with their 1966 hit Little Girl, a song that epitomized the raw energy of the garage rock era. The original lineup featured Don Baskin, vocals, guitar, Bob Gonzalez, bass, Larry Ray, lead guitar, John Sharkey, keyboards, and John Duckworth, drums. Their fusion of rock and R&B elements created a distinctive sound that resonated with the youth of the time. Little Girl, penned by Baskin and Gonzalez, was recorded in January 1966 and quickly gained traction, peaking at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song's catchy riff and rebellious lyrics captured the spirit of teenage angst, securing the band's place in rock history. Following the success of Little Girl, Syndicate of Sound released an album of the same name and toured extensively, sharing stages with prominent acts like the Rolling Stones and the Yardbirds. However, subsequent singles failed to replicate their initial success, and internal challenges led to lineup changes. By 1970, the band had disbanded. Despite their brief tenure, Syndicate of Sound's influence endured.
Not on me, so other girls did it too.
Little Girl became a garage rock staple, covered by various artists over the years. In 2006, the band was inducted into the San Jose Rock's Hall of Fame, a testament to their lasting impact on the local music scene. 11. The Swingin' Medallions. Ever heard of the band that earned the title the Party Band of the South? The Swingin' Medallions, formed in 1962 in Greenwood, South Carolina, became synonymous with high-energy performances and infectious tunes. Their 1966 hit, Double Shot of My Baby's Love, exemplified their signature frat rock style, reaching number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100. The original lineup included John McElrath, keyboards, vocals, Joe Morris, trumpet, Jim Doars, guitar, Charles Weber, trumpet, Brent Fortson, saxophone, Steve Caldwell, saxophone, Jimmy Perkins, bass, and Ray C.A., drums. Their dynamic horn section and spirited vocals set them apart, making them a favorite at college parties and events across the Southeast. Double Shot of My Baby's Love became their signature song, often hailed as the greatest fraternity rock song of all time. Its catchy melody and upbeat rhythm captured the essence of the 1960s party scene. The band's relentless touring schedule and engaging stage presence further solidified their reputation. Despite their regional popularity, the Swingin' Medallions faced challenges in achieving sustained national success. Members came and went, with some forming new groups like Pieces of Eight. However, the band persisted, adapting to changing musical landscapes. In 2009, they experienced a resurgence when Bruce Springsteen invited them on stage for a rendition of Double Shot, introducing their music to a new generation. 12. The Human Beings. Ever heard of the band whose energetic cover became a 1960s anthem? The Human Beings, originating from Youngstown, Ohio, made waves with their 1967 rendition of Nobody But Me, a song that remains a quintessential garage rock classic. Formed in 1964 as the Premiers, the group consisted of Dickie Belly, vocals, guitar, Joe Ting Marculin, guitar, Mel Pachuta, bass, and Mike Tatman, drums. They initially gained local popularity by performing covers of popular songs. Their big break came when they signed with Capitol Records in 1967. However, a clerical error altered their name from the Human Beings to the Human Beans, a moniker that stuck. Their cover of the Isley Brothers' Nobody But Me showcased their high-energy style and featured a memorable repetitive no chorus, propelling the song to number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Despite this success, the band struggled to produce another hit of similar magnitude. Their follow-up album, Evolutions, released in 1968, ventured into more experimental territory but failed to achieve commercial success. By 1969, the Human Beings had disbanded. Interestingly, they found unexpected fame in Japan, where they toured and released albums, including a rare live recording. 13. The Music Explosion. Can you name the band whose infectious hit became a garage rock anthem? The Music Explosion, originating from Mansfield, Ohio, stormed the charts in 1967 with Little Bit of Soul, a track that epitomized the garage rock sound of the era. Formed in 1966, the band comprised Jamie Lyons, vocals, Richard Nesta, guitar, Burton Stahl, bass, Bob Avery, organ, and Ray Ransom, drums. Their collaboration with producers Jerry Kazanets and Jeff Katz led to the release of Little Bit of Soul, which soared to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song's upbeat tempo and catchy chorus made it a favorite among radio listeners and solidified the Music Explosion's place in rock history. Despite the massive success of Little Bit of Soul, the band struggled to produce another hit of similar magnitude. Follow-up singles like Sunshine Games and Run 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 failed to make a significant impact on the charts. By 1969, internal disagreements and the pressures of the music industry led to the band's dissolution. In the years following their breakup, Little Bit of Soul has been featured in various films, commercials, and cover versions, ensuring that the Music Explosion's legacy endures. 14. The Five Americans. Ever wondered about the band that turned Morse code into a catchy pop hit? The Five Americans, hailing from Durant, Oklahoma, crafted the 1967 smash Western Union, ingeniously weaving telegraph-inspired rhythms into rock and roll. Formed in 1962 at Southeastern Oklahoma State University, the group initially performed as the Mutineers before rebranding to the Five Americans to align with the American rock movement. Their energetic performances and harmonious vocals quickly garnered regional attention.
It's all right. Would you believe the sound of love? Would you believe
Western Union became their signature song, reaching number 5 on the US Billboard chart. Its distinctive dit-dit-dit hook mimicked telegraph sounds, making it an unforgettable tune of the era. The success of Western Union led to television appearances and extensive touring, solidifying their place in the 1960s music scene.
Would you believe the sound of love?
Despite their initial success, the 5 Americans struggled to maintain their momentum. Subsequent singles like Sound of Love and Zip Code failed to replicate the success of Western Union. By 1969, the band members parted ways to pursue individual interests. Lead guitarist Mike Raybon continued in music, while others ventured into different careers. 15. The Beau Brummels.
Every night I see you here. Oh, your side is very clear. I hate to say it, but I told you so. Don't mind my plea.
I said don't trust them, baby, now you know. You're gonna learn everything there is to know it's true.
Ever wondered about the American band that predicted the British invasion sound? The Beau Brummels, formed in San Francisco in 1964, stood out for their harmonious blend of folk rock and pop. Often compared to the Byrds, their music was rich with jangly guitars and reflective lyrics. Their debut single, Laugh Laugh, produced by Sly Stone, was a hit. Reaching number 15 on the Billboard charts in 1965. Another notable track, Just a Little, climbed to number 8. The band, fronted by Sal Valentino, became a pioneer of the folk rock movement and significantly influenced the emerging San Francisco sound of the late 1960s. 16. The Remains.
I just know you keep it around my door.
Ever wondered about the band that almost became America's answer to the Beatles? The Remains, formed in 1964 at Boston University, quickly gained a reputation for their electrifying performances and tight musicianship. Their energetic style and R&B influenced sound set them apart in the burgeoning rock scene. In 1966, the Remains achieved a significant milestone by opening for the Beatles during their U.S. tour, performing at iconic venues like Shea Stadium and the Hollywood Bowl. This exposure should have catapulted them to stardom, but internal tensions and management issues led to their disbandment shortly after the tour. In the years following their breakup, the Remains experienced a resurgence in popularity. They reunited for performances and were the subject of the 2008 documentary America's Lost Band, which highlighted their contributions to rock music. 17. The Seeds.
And where the action is, here are the Seeds.
See the farmer on the other side of town. You're pushing too hard.
Curious about the band that became a garage rock anthem? The Seeds, led by the enigmatic Sky Saxon, were one of the most distinctive voices of the 1960s garage rock movement. Their 1967 hit Pushin' Too Hard became a rallying cry for disaffected youth, embodying the rebellious energy of the counterculture.
Oh, it's always using a raking hoe, but it seeds to start.
Emerging from Los Angeles, the Seeds combined raw, unpolished garage rock with the experimental ethos of the psychedelic scene. Their debut album, The Seeds, was a showcase of their talent, with tracks that spoke to youthful angst and resistance. Sky Saxon's charismatic yet eccentric stage presence made them a standout act, and their music became a soundtrack for those who felt alienated by mainstream culture. However, The Seeds faced challenges as they tried to expand their audience. Their refusal to conform to commercial expectations and their increasingly idiosyncratic style limited their appeal. By the late 1960s, the band had faded from the spotlight. 18. The Blues Magoos. Ever wondered about the band that brought psychedelic rock to mainstream audiences? The Blues Magoos, a Bronx-based band, were trailblazers in merging garage rock with the emerging psychedelic movement. Their 1967 hit, We Ain't Got Nothin' Yet, was an infectious anthem that captured the excitement of the era and propelled them to national fame. Known for their flamboyant stage presence and electric blue suits, the Blues Magoos became icons of the late 60s rock scene. They were one of the first bands to use elaborate light shows during performances, enhancing the psychedelic experience for their audiences. Their debut album, Psychedelic Lollipop, is considered one of the earliest examples of the genre. Despite their initial success, the band struggled to maintain their popularity. Shifting musical trends, internal conflicts, and commercial pressures led to their decline. By the early 1970s, the Blues Magoos had disbanded, leaving behind a small but impactful catalog. 19. The Electric Prunes.
Last night your shadow fell upon mine.
Imagine a band that combines psychedelic rock with experimental sounds. The Electric Prunes took the music scene by storm with their bold and unconventional approach to rock. Based in Los Angeles, they broke through in 1966 with their hit, I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night, a hauntingly surreal track that became a hallmark of the psychedelic era. Here's an amazing fun fact. The Electric Prunes once recorded an entire psychedelic album based on a Catholic Mass. Mass in F minor became a cult favorite for its trippy mix of rock and religious themes. What set the Electric Prunes apart was their willingness to experiment. They incorporated fuzz guitars, reverb-drenched vocals, and innovative studio effects that gave their music a dreamlike quality. Their albums, including Underground and Mass in F minor, showcased their creativity, with the latter incorporating Gregorian chants into psychedelic rock, a daring move at the time.
Run away, no place left to go. Hey! Going down, sir.
Despite their innovation, the band faced challenges. Creative control often slipped from their hands, and their unique sound struggled to find a consistent audience. By the late 1960s, lineup changes and industry pressure led to their disbandment. 20. The Sonics.
She got a long back of hair and a big black car.
Ever heard of the band that laid the groundwork for punk rock? The Sonics from Tacoma, Washington were more than a band. They were a revolution. Emerging in the early 1960s, the Sonics dared to push the boundaries of rock and roll with their raw, unapologetic sound. Their 1965 debut album, Here Are the Sonics, featured explosive tracks like Psycho, Strychnine, and The Witch, each showcasing their gritty style and high-energy delivery. Their music stood out for its heavy use of distortion, pounding drums, and screaming vocals, which were unprecedented at the time. While other bands leaned towards polished melodies, the Sonics embraced imperfection, creating music that was loud, aggressive, and visceral. Critics often credit them as one of the first proto-punk bands, influencing future legends like Nirvana, The Stooges, and the White Stripes. Despite their innovative approach, the Sonics never achieved mainstream success during their prime. Limited exposure and a lack of record label support kept them under the radar. If you enjoyed this trip, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out our other videos for more hidden gems, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay tuned.